Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 8 over and unders. We've been quietly hot, guys. We've been quietly battering these over-unders all year. Let's get this money. Slam that like button. Week 8 over-unders. Let's get straight into it. First game, we got the Chicago Bears, the Bears, at the Dallas Cowboys. Over, under, 42.5. I'm going over. And I surprisingly really like this over. And the fundamentals say you slam the under here. Fields and the Chicago offense are going to be held under 13 in the 10-point range. I get you. But I think they manufacture enough. But I also think this Dallas offense has a great game. I see like a 24-20 score here, 24-21. Like, I don't know how the Bears are going to do it, but I'll tell you one way I think they do it. I think they get 2 turnovers off Dak. Dak was lucky not to have 2 or 3 interceptions against his name in that Detroit game. Give me the over 42.5. Next game, we're going across the pond. We got the Denver Broncos at the Jacksonville Jags. Over, under 39.5. I'm going over. In these London games, they always bring a lot of mystery. But one thing that always seems to be consistent is they somehow work towards over. I think the field surface plays a role here. And we know whether it's Russell, whether it's Brett Rippon, this Broncos offense absolutely stinks. There's no other words for it, but let me tell you, this Jags defense has great talent, but they'll keep you in games. They'll make 4 or 5 bonehead penalties, and they'll just give you points, man. They will just give you points. I see the Broncos getting over 20, but I also see the Jags getting over 20. At a certain point, this Broncos offense has to be waving the white towel around. This Broncos defense spent damn near the whole season on the field after 3 and out from Russell America Wilson. Jags offense is good. I think they get things solved this week. Give me the over. I'm loving the injection of Travis Etienne. Next game, we got the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. Over, under 42.5. Money. I'm going under. Last week we had Bucs and Panthers as an under. I absolutely love this under. Listen, you already know the Panthers offense doesn't have a lot of options. They don't have a lot of good quarterback play, and they don't have a lot of creativity. But let's just look at the way Atlanta plays football games. They're going to run it. They're going to chew clock. And look at that game last week for a metaphor. They were down 21-0. I think Mariota only threw it like 14 or 15 times. Same thing against the Buccaneers with the Falcons. I just think the Falcons run the ball. They have a few 8, 9, 10-minute drives, and that kills the clock. And what's Walker going to do for the Panthers? A.J. Terrell, he might play, and I know you probably are a little bit worried about the Falcons secondary. I'm just not sure Walker's the guy to exploit it. 42.5, make it an under, make it a money pick. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tomlin at the Philadelphia Eagles. Over, under 43.5. I love this over. And I know this Pittsburgh defense is going to fight. I know Mike Tomlin's going to come in here and be prepared to stop Hurts and this Philly offense. But I just see Philly getting 27 to 30 points. And the only reason why this isn't a money pick for the over is Kenny Pickett was really bad. That Pittsburgh offensive line actually had their best game of the year. I know there isn't a lot of good games they've had to compare it to, but they gave Pickett a lot of time. And he's got a lot of dogs at wide receiver that no one wants to talk about. I just don't know if this kid's going to be able to do much. That's why it's not a money pick. But Eagles are going to put up their 27, 33 points in that range. That's why I'm going over. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Detroit Lions. Over, under, 51.5. I'm going under. And Detroit, they have to run the ball more, and I think that's what they're going to do. We don't know if St. Brown's going to play. We don't know if Swift's going to play. This Lions team, they don't have a problem moving the rock, even against the Patriots, even against the Cowboys. They move the rock with relative ease, but they make critical mistakes in the red zone on 4th and 1s. Every single week, it seems like that's a big reason I like the under. Also, this Miami offense, listen, I think Tua's going to look a little bit better, and we know that Detroit defense can be had. But the Detroit defensive line is finally healthy. I think they get a better pass rush, and I think Tua, I just don't know if we're going to see the explosive plays from Miami. That's why I'm going under the 51.5. You never want to bet under in Detroit games, but I'm doing it right here. Next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals at the Minnesota Vikings. Over, under, 49. I'm going over. And this game is very, very hard to predict because the Vikings have looked good at times this year, and the Cardinals have looked decent at times this year, but this Cardinals offense is hit or miss. But I'm betting on D-Hop adding a little bit of stability and explosion to that offense. You already saw Kyler felt more comfortable against the Saints just with that man in the lineup. And then when I look at my Minnesota Vikings, I think the bye week will help. Could they have gotten the bye week a little bit later in the year and it would have helped them more? Sure. But this Arizona defense isn't all that great. You give O'Connell a week to coach Kirk up. I think he has some good play design. I think the first script of 10 to 15 plays will lead to points for the Vikings. I'm going over the 49. Next game, AFC East. We got the New England Patriots, the hoodie, at the New York Jets. Over, under, 40.5. I'm going under. I think this is an old school late 80s game. I haven't looked at the weather, but I imagine it's not going to be too amendable at the Meadowlands. I'm looking at the Jets team that just isn't getting good quarterback play. And that's one thing that everyone keeps sweeping under the rug. Now Breece Hall is out. Now Elijah Vera-Tucker is out. And now we have to look at Zach Wilson, and we have to look at Patriots defense getting absolutely embarrassed by the Chicago Bears. I think this Pats defense comes in with reckless abandon. I think they play a very, very strong game. And then also the hoodies bringing instability to this Pats offense. I don't like what he's doing to Mac. I don't like what he's doing to Zappy. And I don't like what he's done with the offensive coordinator situation all year. I'm going under the 40.5. Next game, we got the Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. Over, under, 40.5. Money, money, money! Money! I'm going under the 40.5. I know this is really low. I was tempted with the Pats at 40.5 as well, but this is the one I want to fire on. And listen, the Titans have been good in the first half on offense and absolutely abysmal and tragic in the second half. This Texans defense, they battle. I like their secondary, but I think the Titans will be able to run the ball, but not to an extent of like 200, 220 yards, nothing crazy like that. And the way to attack this Titans defense, I said it last week, you have to be able to throw it, and you have to be able to throw it 20, 25, 30 yards down the field, and I don't think Dougie Mills is the dude to do that. And Dougie seems to be getting worse as the season goes on, not better. I'm going under the 40.5, make it a damn money pick. Next game, we got the New York Giants, G-Men, at the Seattle Seahawks. Over, under 44.5. I'm going over. And I say this a lot to you guys. If you think a game is going to be a very close game, 3 points, 5 points, you kind of go the over unless it's very, very high. Because I think this game is coming down to the fourth quarter. I think this game is coming down to the last 2 possessions. And I think this game will find a way to push over. Even though both of these offenses had troubling moments this season, they always seem to make 3 or 4 big plays a game that change the shift of it. And also, I'm not sold on the Seattle defense. I know they got a lot of young dogs, especially in that secondary, and they do seem to be getting better every week. But I think the Giants can run the rock a lot better than they did against the Jags. A lot of the Giants running the ball was Daniel Jones against the Jags. I think both teams get the run game going. This is going to be extremely close. I like it to go over. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet. Let's get to the next game. Thursday night football. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Over, under 45.5. I'm going over, but I'm putting on this one. I've kind of been putting on this one the whole week, but can you blame me? With how inconsistent this Buccaneers offense has been. And then on the other side, no one wants to talk about how inconsistent the Ravens have been. I just think this finds a way to go over. I think Brady responds. We know this Ravens offense is going to put up their 24, 21, 27 points. Bucks respond. No science involved. I'm going over. Please do not bet this one. In whatever market you want to bet it, please do not bet this one. Next game, we got the Green Bay Packers at the Buffalo Bills. Over, under 47. Money, money, money. Money. I'm going over. I like the over in this one. And when I'm looking at this game, I think the Packers will be able to manage 17 to 20 points. But this Bills offense has been high voltage and explosive this year. And I'm just seeing too many mistakes out of the Packers defense. If we look at personnel, they should have a top 7, top 5 defense. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not a Packers lover by any means. But they make big mistakes every single game, and Buffalo's the wrong team to do that against. I think the Bills get into the 30s, and I don't think the Packers will be able to keep pace. But I also don't think they're going to lay an egg like they did against the no-names. Packers will have some tricks up their sleeve. I expect a reverse. Maybe Aaron Jones throwing the ball. It's just something to get this Bills defense guessing. I'm going over the 47, make it a money pick. Next game, we got the Washington no-names at the Indianapolis Colts. Over, under is 40. I'm going under. But this one is very, very tough because we know what we're going to get from Heineke. Like, Heineke can make some explosive plays, and he can also turn the ball over with relative ease. At any moment, he touches the ball, and that can lead to points. But when I'm looking at this, I'm going under because I got questions about Ehlinger. I got questions about Frank Reich. But thirdly, and probably most importantly, I got questions about this Colts locker room. How has this offensive line collapsed this way? And I know Chase Young probably won't play, but the no-name still got a pretty good front four rotation. And I think Ehlinger will struggle. I don't think this Colts team is down for the fight. I'm going under the 40. Oh, this is very, very low. Next game, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Los Angeles Rams. Over, under 43.5. I'm going over here. And when you look at this game, you want to go under because both offenses have struggled this year. Both offenses are lacking the explosion we normally see from them. But I think the 49ers have a good game here. And, this Rams defense, people haven't been talking about it a lot, but I think they're vulnerable, and I think this is the week McCaffrey makes a difference. Hell, he even made a little bit of a difference against the Chiefs, like you guys said he would. I disagreed, but you guys were right on that. And I also think we're going to see some more creativity from McVay. This 49ers defense is battered and broken down. Maybe this week we'll get them healthy. Maybe this week we'll get them right. But I don't know if I'd bet on it. I didn't go beat my chest because I had the Chiefs as a money pick last week. I just told you. I just don't know if this 49ers defense is healthy. I don't think they're healthy. I think the 49ers play better on offense. I think the Rams play better on offense. I'm going over the 43.5. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the New Orleans Saints. Over, under 49.5. I'm going over. The Saints defense just hasn't been the same this year. And every single week, everyone wanted to say the Raiders were done and put them in the casket and start throwing the dirt and pebbles on top of them and put them away. I wasn't there with you, and they seem to be improving every single week on offense. They seem to be finding their way. I wonder if Waller will be back. But even if he's not back, I don't know what's going on with the Saints defense. I don't know what's going on with the Saints pass rush. I think the Raiders have a big game. I think Josh Jacobs has a big game. On the other side, it seems like the Saints have turned into a pass-first offense. I mean, the passing was the best attack against the Bengals, and the passing was the best attack against the Cardinals, even with the 2 interceptions. I'm just not understanding what's going on in New Orleans anymore. That's why I'm going over. I could see the Raiders getting a 27-30, and I think that's enough to push it over. Next game and last game of the week, Monday Night Football. We got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns, over under 47. Money. Went back and forth on this one all week because nothing is consistent in this league, and there's always responses from teams. But I'm going over, and I'm making it a money pick because I don't care if Denzel Ward's coming back. Joe Flacco threw for 2 touchdowns against Denzel Ward in under 2 minutes to win a game in week 2 or 3. I can't remember the exact week. I'm just not excited about this Browns defense. I think it's a coaching issue at this point. You don't want to take the players out of the equation and put the job of playing and covering grown men on the coach. But it just seems like this Browns team is out of sorts and they're a little bit lost. I do think the Browns will be able to move the football. I do think they'll be able to put up points. But I think this Bengals offense has a superior advantage. The Bengals offense is getting hot at the right time. What day is it? It's around Halloween, October 26th. Happy Halloween to everyone. That's the time you want to get moving. That's the time you want to be playing your best offensive football. It seems like the Bengals are doing it. And I know the Bengals defense is competent, but I'm not in love with them like everyone else. I think the Browns will be able to move it. I don't think we're going to see a Browns against the Patriots type performance. Give me an over. Make it a money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet. Thank you. Have a great Halloween week.
How many days it gonna take? You switch on me and I ain't get a break. If I hop off, then the levee gon' break. If I take 2, then I'm off into space. Put all that down, pour all that out. I'm done without, we on the now. Step after step, day by the day. Live for the night and I'm never gon' break. Yeah.
Step by step by step by step. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Step by step by step by step. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Moving forward on the glory, up and onward, write the story. Little further, I can see it. We will be there before you know.
This life can get you down, down, down.
Just keep yourself around, around, around.